Book summary: The Blue Hour by Paula Hawkins. Genre: psychological thriller, gothic suspense. Good Morning America Book Club pick. Part 1: An Island Lost in Time. Eris is an island few know of, even fewer visit. Off the coast of Scotland, it's a place where time moves according to tides. The island is unreachable from the mainland for 12 hours a day. There is only one house on it, the house at the end of the sound. For many years, it was home to the legendary artist Vanessa Maclean and her charismatic, often cruel husband Julian, until Julian mysteriously vanished 20 years ago. Now it belongs to Grace Aitken, woman as elusive and stormy as the island itself. Grace lives by the tides, fishing, forging, painting in secret, and keeping her past locked away. But that peace is shattered when painting, unmistakably one of Vanessa's final works, surfaces in London Gallery. It is an artwork no one knew existed, one presumed lost or destroyed. Lexie Trent, young, ambitious curator at the Lambeth Modern, recognizes the piece and becomes obsessed with uncovering its origin. Lexie is struggling to prove herself in world, dismisses her inexperience and emotional investment in the artist she champions. She tracks the painting's provenance to mysterious dealer who refuses to reveal the source, until forgotten storage receipt leads her to the isolated island of Eris. Part 2: Haunted by Vanessa. The narrative weaves between 3 points of view: Grace in the present, Lexie in her investigation, and Vanessa in the past through old letters, journal entries, and the whispered recollections of locals. We learn that Vanessa Maclean was both revered and reviled in the art world. Her work raw and emotionally explosive. She was unflinchingly honest in her use of color, form, and subject. But her genius came at cost. Julian, husband, once celebrated critic and gallery darling, saw his star dim while Vanessa's rose. He controlled her, cheated on her, even publicly humiliated her. But she kept creating. When Julian disappeared one stormy night, Vanessa retreated entirely from the world, refusing all interviews, exhibitions, and contact. 2 years later, she was gone, presumed dead. Grace in those days was shy 20-something who escaped traumatic home life, coming to Eris to work as Vanessa's live-in assistant. Their relationship deepened into an intense, ambiguous entanglement, part maternal, part artistic, perhaps romantic. Grace was both muse and confidante, and then one day, Julian was simply gone. Part 3: Lexie digs deeper. Lexie arrives on Eris under the pretense of cataloging obscure Scottish landscapes for university project. She is unprepared for the ruggedness of the island, or for Grace. Cold, suspicious, and intensely private, Grace refuses to discuss Vanessa or Julian, but Lexie sees the signs. Sketches pinned to the studio wall, paint brushes that match the strokes in the mysterious new piece, and the unmistakable air of grief. Tides trap her on the island longer than intended. Lexie uncovers remnants of the past. Trunk of unsent letters from Vanessa to her sister, a recording of Vanessa reading from Wuthering Heights, the painting. Unfinished. Julian was slashed through the face. Lexie begins to suspect that Grace knows more than she's saying, and may have been involved in Julian's disappearance. Part 4: Unraveling the Past. Flashbacks show Vanessa descending into psychological instability. Julian gaslights her, isolates her from friends, and sabotages her career behind closed doors. Grace becomes her emotional anchor, but she too begins to crack under the pressure of Vanessa's increasingly erratic behavior and the tension between husband and wife. Then one stormy night, Julian tries to leave Eris for good. He and Vanessa have a final explosive argument. Grace claims to have slept through the night, but the timeline doesn't add up. Julian, never seen again. Vanessa tells Grace that Julian must have made it to the mainland and simply chosen to disappear. Grace accepts it. Publicly. Privately, she is not so sure. In the present, Lexie confronts Grace with the evidence she's gathered. Receipt for small boat rented the day after Julian vanished. Paint samples from the disputed canvas found in the island cellar, and an unmailed letter Vanessa wrote 3 days before her death, confessing to an act neither forgive nor erase. Cornered, Grace admits the truth. Julian died that night, not murdered but in drunken fall during struggle with Vanessa. Grace helped Vanessa cover it up, burying Julian's body in collapsed sea cave that is now permanently submerged due to tidal shifts. The final painting, Blue Hour, was Vanessa's confession, her act of closure. She asked Grace to destroy it, but Grace couldn't. She kept it hidden until contractor cleaning the gallery's basement mistook for anonymous work and sold it. Part 5: The Tides Turn. Lexie is torn. She can reveal everything. Gain fame, reestablish Vanessa's legacy, and perhaps even secure promotion at the Lambeth But the cost would be enormous. Grace could face legal repercussions, and Vanessa's legacy would forever be stained by the scandal. Grace pleads with her to let the island keep its secrets. Lexie ultimately makes different choice. She writes an anonymous article for my art journal describing the Blue Hour as found painting of unknown origin, born of grief and beauty, choosing to focus on its emotional impact rather than its backstory. She leaves the island changed. Older, sobered, more attuned to silence, beauty, and the power of restraint, Grace returns to her solitary life. But something in her has shifted too. She opens the studio again, begins to paint, not as Vanessa's shadow, but as herself. Major themes and symbolism. 1. The tides. Tides become symbol of time, inevitability, and the rhythm of memory. Just as the island is inescapable at high tide, so too are the truths the characters must eventually confront. 2. Art is confession. Vanessa's work is both her salvation and her curse. It captures not just emotion but confession. Things too dangerous to say aloud. Grace's preservation of Vanessa's work is an act of love and guilt. 3. Isolation and trauma. Eris' psychological mirror. It isolates characters, stripping away distractions and forcing them to confront their truest selves. Grace's trauma is etched into the cliffs and shadows of the island. Lexie, by contrast, carries the scars of urban disconnection. 4. The Blue Hour, the titular. Blue Hour refers to the brief period of twilight each day. Time of beauty and ambiguity. The entire novel exists in this liminal space, between guilt and innocence, love and obsession, past and present. Character analysis. Grace Aitken. At first glance, Grace is recluse, emotionally closed off, but Hawkins masterfully reveals her as a woman hardened by necessity, not by nature. Her loyalty to Vanessa is absolute. Perhaps dangerously so. Her arc is about rediscovering her own voice and creative agency. Vanessa Maclean, though absent in the present timeline, Vanessa looms over the narrative. Through letters, memories, and paintings, she emerges as victim and perpetrator. Deeply wounded, volatile, and brilliant, her art becomes her most honest expression even as it damns her. Lexie Trent. Lexie serves as the reader's anchor. Naive yet persistent, she evolves from wide-eyed art lover into thoughtful observer of human complexity. Her choice to protect Grace reflects maturity even if it comes at the cost of recognition. Julian Maclean. Julian's ghost haunts every page. Charismatic and he embodies the patriarchal forces that both elevated and destroyed Vanessa. His disappearance becomes metaphor for the removal of oppressive voices, but not without consequence. Style and tone. Hawkins' prose in the Blue Hour is lyrical and layered. The narrative unfolds like painting, textured, shadowed, and deliberately paced. The structure, shifting between timelines and narrators, creates mosaic effect with truths revealed piece by piece. Fans of Patricia Highsmith, Daphne du Maurier, and Shirley Jackson will find echoes here. Gothic tension, psychological depth, and slow creeping suspense. Like Rebecca, the novel is less whodunit, more whodunit, interrogating female identity and survival. Critical reception. Lee Child, the best Paula Hawkins yet. By tense and haunting Mal Lismore, an atmospheric, stylish puzzle box of thriller. Truly exceptional Angie Kim, a masterful exploration of the nature of obsession. Sherry Leitner, masterpiece, gorgeous and chilling. Dania Q. Kafka, atmospheric and marvelously twisty. McHerron, reminiscent of Du Maurier, Art Island's missing spouses. Hard to put down. Conclusion. The Blue Hour is Paula Hawkins at her most literary and ambitious. Departure from the urban paranoia of the girl on the train, this novel leans into Gothic atmosphere, emotional resonance, and elegant suspense. Its story of women, flawed, haunted, resilient, navigating wreckage left by men, memory, and time. Thriller for those who love silence, salt air, and secrets buried just below the surface. The Blue Hour is not just book. It's an experience.